Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. The Giants have signed Jameis Winston to a 2-year, $8 million contract. And this is better than the possibility of bringing in Aaron Rodgers, which I guess is still on the table, although I don't think that that's all that likely. I think that he'll likely end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can probably eliminate Russell Wilson as well. So from the Giant equation, Joe Flacco was someone that also visited with the team, but they've decided on Jameis Winston being their quarterback. Now, if I had to guess, I would say that it's most likely that the Giants will try to get either Cam Ward or Shador Sanders in the draft. Getting Cam Ward would, have to be a trade up situation with the Giants currently at 3. I doubt that'll fall there. And quite honestly, I would think the Titans might just take Cam Ward at 1. And so Shador Sanders would be the more likely among the draftees in this draft coming up. But for Winston, he'll be, if nothing else, very entertaining. And really, he is one of the better backups. Now, on this Giant team, he might have a bigger role than that. And it's as far as the money goes, really nothing too crazy there. He can the contract could go up to $60 million, but a 2-year, $8 million deal is reasonable. And he did have a level of success last year with the Cleveland Browns. So the problem with Jameis Winston has always been the turnovers. He has the arm. Really, from Malik Neighbors, statistically, this will be very good for him. As Winston is someone that does not mind airing it out. So it'll be fun from just a watching perspective. But as far as wins and losses, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lead to success. Jameis Winston, let's kind of discuss his career and kind of where it's gone. There was a lot of hype surrounding Jameis Winston. He was the #1 overall pick out of Florida State in 2015 and had a lot of success at Florida State. And with the Tampa Bay Bucks, he was there for 5 seasons where he was the starter for all 5 of those years. And his last year, which is just crazy, 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, and over 5,000 yards passing. That is what he is. And so if Brian Dable can somehow cut down on the interceptions, which, look, Jameis Winston's been in the league close to 10 years now. That's not really been part of his game. I mean, even last year, 13 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and 7 starts with the Cleveland Browns, and really brought about something new to that offense. Really, Deshaun Watson was not playing well before he got hurt, and Jameis Winston brought some life to them. So, this is a quarterback that does have talent, arm talent. Not really a quarterback that's all that mobile. He can, move around the pocket a little bit, but he's not. He is not someone uh, like if somehow the Giants got like a Cam Ward who can really move. You know, with Jameis, it's more of his throwing ability. That the Giants did have that with Daniel Jones. They had someone that could, move it on the ground. You don't get that with Jameis Winston, but I do think given all of the alternatives, I don't mind they landed here. Again, especially because I just didn't want to deal with the Aaron Rodgers stuff. And I think that they would still be open to that idea, the Giants, but I don't think he wants to go to the Giants. And I think that it'd be a lengthy process for it to happen if it ever did. And to me, I would be very surprised to see a pairing of Russell Wilson with Jameis Winston. It's not something I'm envisioning. So where does that leave Russell Wilson? The interesting thing with that is maybe Cleveland. Because if Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh, and there's always the chance that if Rodgers retires, that Russell Wilson could reunite back with the Steelers. But I think now, maybe Russell Wilson goes to Cleveland, and then could that change the paradigm for the Browns as far as drafting quarterback? Should it? Maybe not, but it could. And so now it puts the Giants in a situation where they can still be open to all possibilities. It's not as if signing Jameis Winston is going to landlock them anywhere. If anything, for me, it increases the chances that they will go after a quarterback. The idea of Jameis Winston, Tommy DeVito, and some other random veteran, I don't think that's going to sit well with anyone. So I think that there still is a desire to absolutely improve the quarterback position. But if Winston can be that veteran backup who does start in a pinch, you could do a lot worse. In between his time with Tampa and Cleveland, he was with New Orleans for 4 years, and I think that did him some good being, behind Drew Brees and learning under Sean Payton. He actually had one pretty nice season in 2021 where he started 7 games, where he had 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I believe this might have been the first year post Drew Brees, where it was maybe a combination of Winston and Taysom Hill, but maybe forgetting someone else in that QB mix, but a pretty efficient year for Jameis Winston terms. So I definitely think that he's done a lot of maturing as well. This is someone that was pretty immature off the field as well coming in. And he's an interesting character. He has a lot of things to say. Um, but I think, his persona now, I think, is more positive than maybe it used to be. There are some things that he says that do have you scratching your head a little bit, and do come across as a little bit foolish or like, is it real? But in a season for the Giants that, look, it's probably not going to be great. At least with Jameis, you are getting some fun thrown into the mix in an offense that really, really needs someone that can move the ball downfield. And he absolutely can do that more than what the Giants have seen previously. They've had a tough time with explosive plays. That's the name of the game in this NFL, is to be able to get those 20, 30-yard plays. And he certainly has the ability to do that. He's not afraid. We can say that for sure. He definitely wants to find his receivers. And that's where I think Malik Neighbors, if you're him, you don't mind this move right now. But there's a difference again between him putting up the touchdowns and getting the yards and winning football games. He's not, there's a reason why Jameis Winston is not a starter in this league anymore. He is a backup that, if injuries were to occur, or if you do have a rookie quarterback, that he could be that guy for a certain amount of time. But look, his overall win-loss record in the NFL, 36-51. So that kind of does speak for itself. But given everything, I don't mind this move. Not a whole lot of a financial investment, 2-year deal. And I don't know the particulars of the deal. I wouldn't be surprised if, based on the terms, that maybe it ends up only being a 1-year deal, depending on where things go after this 2025 season. But yes, the Giants have finally made a QB move, and it is Jameis Winston, who is now going to be one of the quarterbacks for the New York Giants. Still a lot more to come with the draft, a little bit more than a month away. But the Giants needed to do something, and they do it as they bring in Jameis Winston on a 2-year deal worth $8 million.